Today, I'm very lucky to have Mr. Yu Tao, a professional lute player, with me in the studio, and I'm going to give the floor to him to explain more about the Qin itself and also her story and her perception of Qin ideology. Yu Tao graduated from Sichuan Conservatory of Music, inherited the Chuan Pai. In the past 10 years, he has been studying Guqin, and he went to the mountains and the rivers to try to feel the sense of the nature, try to incorporate him into the nature. So I'm going to give the floor to him.
Thank Professor Hong for inviting me here. Guqin as one of the most traditional instruments in China. Professor Hong, do you know who invented it?
You got me there. I mean, this is difficult because when Guqin is mentioned, what comes to my mind is this antiquity. It's a music belonged to the ancient times. It seems like a long, long time ago. But who created this? It must be some associations between some legendary figures and some great man in the ancient times. I'm not sure. I don't know. So could you tell us?
Yes, it is indeed long time ago. Legend has it that Fuxi made the Qin.
Okay.
That sages made the Qin is definitely not to self-cultivation. They made Qin in order to institute rites and music, in order to teach the people to balance their likes and dislikes and bring them back to the right way. So Qin itself has many meanings. For example, the Qin with a total length of 1.2 meters is made to measure 3 chi, 6 cun, and 5 fen. This symbolizes the 365 degrees of the celestial sphere and the 365 days of the year. Qin is made of 2 boards, upper and lower board. The upper board is convex, symbolizing heaven, and the lower board is designating the earth. So the unity of the 2 boards symbolizes the interchanging breath of heaven and earth. Now let's look at the lower board. There are 2 absorbing holes. The big one is called Dragon Pond. The small one is called Phoenix Pool. The Dragon Pond measures 8 cun, letting pass the wind of 8 directions. The Phoenix Pool measures 4 cun, uniting in it the 4 seasons. Just now you mentioned that Guqin has another name, 7-string lute. Yes, Qin has 7 strings now, but when the sage made Qin, it used to have 5 strings. For example, Fuxi made 5-string lute, and Shun made the ode to south wind by performing 5-string lute. Later, 2 more strings were added, King Wen and King Wu. And now, in front of us is the 7-string lute. Qin has 3 timbres. The first is called scattered sound, played with only the right hand. This timbre is very thick, so it is symbolizing earth. The second is called harmonic sound. This timbre is very ethereal, so the harmonic is symbolizing heaven. And the last one is stopped sound. This is very flexible and free. So it is symbolizing man. So the unity of these 3 timbres symbolically refers to the harmonious coexistence of heaven, earth, and man.
Wow, wonderful. So many information about Guqin. To my understanding, well, it has a lot of symbolic meanings, like one of them, like 3 chi, 6 cun and 5 fen. So this is a unit of measurement, right? So altogether 365 symbolizing the days of the year. Yeah. So this is the one thing. Another thing is about, I remember that the up part is round, symbolizing the heaven. 天圆地方, right? At the back, the lower part is a square. So many Chinese culture symbolic meaning is carried in this qing. And also, when you say, well, Fuxi is a first person, so I guess that Fuxi, although he's a legendary figure, is part of Chinese civilization. So no wonder when we say qing qi shu hua, qing ranks first, simply because it's imposing age. So yes, and interesting is about the unity between the man and the qing. Qing itself representing the heaven and the earth and everything, and the player, as you yourself, must have a very intimate feeling or emotions with the qing itself. So could you tell us more about your learning experience and your feelings and perceptions about qing? Yeah.
Like what you have just said, when we play qing, we should be in a state of calmness and tranquility. The reason that I like to play in the mountains and forests is because I believe only in this way can players be sensitive to the natural surroundings, therefore truly understand the symbolic meaning of qing. As the old Chinese saying goes, the meaning of the qing is restraining the force and bringing back to the right in order to harmonize the heart of man. We should hold on to our heart and make sure it will not go astray like too much emphasis on external expressions. Of course, technical skills of hands is premise of a good performance, but what matters more is the virtue of the players. Therefore, it is said successfully executing music is not caused by the hand but by the heart. The music is not produced by notes but by the way. When one does not strive to express music in terms but let it come naturally, then one may experience the harmony of heaven and earth, and then one may be in communication with the virtue of universal spirit.
Wow, this is a very philosophical understanding about the qing and about the qing ideology. And it's Mr. Yu tried to explain the harmonious unity between man and heaven and earth. So for the man, if you want to be a successful player, you need to keep this harmonious tranquility in your mind. So that's why just now you were saying that the success of a player does not lie in the technical skill, like hand, but rather in expression of the inner strength, the virtue, in a sense. So, and then you were saying that the music does not lie in the tune, the sound, but lies in the Dao. So the music itself, the player has inner goodness, let's say, the virtue, and it's more likely for him to become a good player because he can find the calmness here in his mind. And so when you play, both the player and the listener, when we enjoy the music and we find everything in a harmony. So it's a very natural expression or natural manifestation of the people and the qing. I remember that you mentioned the three kind of sound. One is the scattered sound. The other one is the harmonic sound, and the stopped sound. So could you just demonstrate a very little piece of the music to show how it plays by using all this sound?
Of course.
Okay. Yes, please. So now Guqin, as the oldest music instrument of China, it has many symbolic meanings. When we go back to the earliest eras of Chinese civilization, back to those legendary figures like Fuxi, and definitely they made this instrument not to the self-cultivation. They made it for the occasions of the rites and music. They try to give the people a kind of guidance to let them realize what is a good and what is a bad. So it's a kind of a harmonious way to bring the order to society. And then later on, the Guqin, as a part of a body of a literati in ancient times, many literature writers, many artists have this Guqin as an inseparable part of their life. So as our teacher told us about Guqin, there's more ideology, Dao ideology with itself. Both as a player and a listener, we need to find this calmness in our mind. And on the one hand, technical skills is important in order to become a good player. But what is more important is the development of your inner morality. So that's the end of this lecture. Hope you like it. Thank you for being with us.